Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I am your guide, Elpy, and this is the blue worm bin. This bin is almost 4 months old. It consists of nothing but blue worms, to the best of my knowledge, because I put 67 worms in here September 18th, 2024. On November 5th, I counted and they more than doubled. So we got a worm on our bubble mailer, a baby worm over there. Did I say that today is the 12th of January and that it's been 6 days since the last check-in? This is part of the worm Time for Pie series. And the last check-in, the check-in before that was on the 3rd of January 2025. And I fed them again because I wanted the bin to warm up, and I believe that these blue worms can handle. And this is where I fed the new feeding. So all the other bins we've been checking in on the previous feeding from the 9th of December. For bins 1 and 2, it was the 7th of December. But these guys, it's a blue worm. Blue worms, as I was telling a viewer and a fellow YouTuber, they aren't always blue. They don't always appear blue in certain lights, and I don't know, but it would be interesting to look into what makes them more blue than not. But it is definitely, you see this, an angle thing. Their iridescence, it almost looks like it's glowing. But even without the light, it's more of their head, which is the area, see that white band? That is a blue worm's clitellum. It is different from red wigglers and European night crawlers in that it is flush. It is flat to the body as opposed to kind of bulging out. But if you see, its head is a darker color, and it's kind of, without the light, it's a more of a like dark purple color. But you see that sort of blue iridescence. And you will see iridescence and almost dark blue-like colors in the other worms, but not in the way that you do with the Malaysian. I believe their scientific name is Perionyx excavatus, but I think they're also called Indian blue worms, as in East India, and or Malaysian blue worms. Feel free to correct me if those aren't all one and the same. Okay, so this is the newest feeding. I fed them a very rotting pear and 5 persimmons. I don't see, there were worms on top. Last time there were a few worms on top, like not even on top of the feeding, but on top of the area. Oh, there's a couple. Oops, sorry. There's a couple down there. So, as we would expect them to be more so down at the bottom. And we added more paper, cardboard, and some potting mix as well. And that may have been a mistake. There's some worms. On my part, in that if the potting mix, it was old potting mix, if I had used worm castings in it before, then there's the potential, well then there could well be, there's another worm, worm cocoons in there. But we'll know one day if we see European night crawlers or red wigglers. It's not the end of the world. I'm not selling these, but yeah, so the blue worms have, in fact, made it into this new feeding zone. Last time it had been 3 days plus 6, so it's been 9 days since I gave them this. So they're moving over there. Now let's go check on our time for pie feeding. So like I was saying, and all the others I check on the feeding at the beginning of December, which here was over here, but there hasn't been much activity over here. I did add water with this last feeding because I want this bin to be wetter. It's got a little bit of a stinky, it's got a little bit of a swampy smell to it. So we'll keep an eye on that next time I check in. Let's check the time for pie. Yeah, I won't be, all the things I wanted to do with my bins at this check-in are not going to happen other than feeding bin 3 because I am unwell. Yeah, look at that. Lots of worms, young worms. We very much disturbed all the bins at the last check-in. Means we turned everybody upside down. Not literally. More so than before. Although these guys have been, since they're a smaller bin, they've been more disturbed more often. So here's our pumpkin pie. And we have lots of worms. Remember this bin, I put 67 blue worms. I didn't put them in here if I wasn't certain it was a blue worm. On the 17th, or on the 18th of September, 2024. So it's almost been, there's quite a bit of pie left. It's almost been 4 months. Okay. I like the moisture that's down there. No stink over here. But we have a good population of worms. Alright, I'm going to let these guys be. There's still some pepper skin. Let's go ahead and put the pumpkin pie. And we'll put that. They also got some pita bread. Alright, pita bread stinks. Or that could also be dough, but it's got that funky sour smell, which is more so the smell of the dough rotting. Alright. Let's put this little bit of funk over there. Okay, so that was it for the blue worm bin. The 21-day post-pie check-in. They still have a significant portion of pie left, and they're also starting to work. They've also moved into the new feeding zone, which is interesting that there were less worms on the bubble mailer today than previously. Okay, there we have it. Stay tuned. I'll be back in here in 3 or 4 days. As long as the pie persists, this series continues. Check out day 15 round of videos. If you can only see one, check out Worm Bin 2 for sure. Thank you so much for your time and your interest. If you or anyone you know or love has been affected by the California fires, I pray for you and your safety and your well-being and your strength. I pray that you have the support that you need. I pray that you have shelter and a safe place to go. And I pray too that for an end to the fires and the well-being of everyone fighting the fires and supporting those in need. Be safe, be well. Bye for now.